Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and this is my 2019 Mazda 3 hatchback in all-wheel drive. This is my daily driver here on the channel and I've put over 100,000 miles on this car all by myself. But today I wanted to do a tire review because I actually got new tires here for the Mazda 3 hatchback. They are Kumho Solus 4S's. Now, Kumho was nice enough to send me these tires to test out, and so I took this car on a 6,000 mile road trip out to Denver, Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, Minnesota, and back home here to Illinois. And so I have a lot of experience with these tires. I'm going to talk about their upsides and their downsides, as well as if I think that they would be a smart purchase for your vehicle. So what tires did I get rid of for the Kumho Solus 4S's? Well, I used to have Continental Control Contact Sport SRS's. I bought those tires actually in Denver in 2021 because I got a bubble in my tire and needed all four because of the all-wheel drive. I really like those tires. They were absolutely wonderful tires, and I highly recommend those as well if you can find them. So let's talk about these actual tires. Kumho says that these will do 15% better in the wet than a conventional tire and 10% better handling and braking than a more conventional tire. So what does that look like? Well, for one, it looks like all of these bars, graphs, and infographics that you can find on Kumho's website. And I think they're helpful for sure, but it's hard to also gauge any sort of base because they just say conventional tire. Conventional tire could mean pretty much anything. What is it like to actually drive on these? Well, in the 7,000 miles that I've put on these tires, I've absolutely loved it. I've driven it through rain. I've driven it through snow up by Logan's Pass in Montana in Glacier National Park. Driven it, of course, in the sun quite a bit. I've driven it on the highway. I've driven it at slow speeds. I've driven them off-road. And compared to my older Continentals, they drive pretty much the same. And that's actually really good because these tires are priced a lot lower than those Continentals. From what I was able to find online from certain dealers, you could find these for around $400 to $500 for a set. And that's a lot cheaper than the $900 Continentals that I had on this. Now, my only complaint with these tires so far has been their wear life. These wear out a lot quicker than the older Continentals that I had. Now, this was also backed up by a third party. I brought this car to my mechanic that I always bring this car to. He had no idea that I got these from Kumho. He just saw that I had new tires, brought it in about 5,000 miles later, and he said, yeah, they are wearing a little bit quicker than your older tires. So that is something to note, and Kumho knows this. They put this on their website. They gave it a 6 out of 10 for tire life. So if you are looking for a really long distance, long-term tire, you might want to look elsewhere in Kumho's lineup or at another brand. Now, me personally, I'm not really affected by this shorter tire life because I always like putting new tires on the car. I think the longest I've ever had a tire on the car was those Continentals, which were about 2.5 years, because I always like getting fresh rubber. I have driven cars on $25 used tires from Chihuahua Tire. I've done it all, and the second you start sliding, that $200-300 difference is nothing when your life or your loved ones might be in danger. So I always swap out tires on this car. This is the third set of tires I've done in the 100,000 miles. And so to me, the tire life isn't really that big of a concern, but if that is a big concern for you, that is something you should know. We should also talk about tire volume because tires make noise as they make contact with the road. I did notice that these tires were just a slight little bit louder than the outgoing Continentals, but you turn up the volume of the radio, you're not going to notice that. It would maybe be a 1/4 decibel either way, and of course, I was more attuned to listen to the tires once I got the new tires put on, so it could have been a little bit of placebo as well. And right after I got the tires put on, I put the roof rack on, and that thing whistles like an owl, and so that was my main auditory concern, not the tires. So if you are worried about tire noise, it's not really an issue. Fuel economy wasn't really changed or affected at all by the tires either. I did runs before and after and saw virtually no difference. I did see a little difference, but that could have been up to the temperature, downwind, upwind, whatever it might be. It was like 0.1 different, so not really concerned. And like I said, the roof rack that I put on had a bigger effect on the fuel economy than the tires ever would, so no worries there. So what's my consensus? Do I like these tires? Will I be keeping these tires on the car? Will I go back to my Continentals? Because I did keep them just in case these were terrible. And the answer is that these will stay on the car. I think if you drive a lot, and I mean like a lot, like over 30,000 miles a year, you might want to look at a little bit longer lasting tire. But that is such a small slice of drivers. I think if you drive between 5 and 15 to 20,000 miles a year, I think these are great and they will last you a long time. You won't have to worry about the tire wear because you're going to be at that 4 or 5 year mark with the tires anyway, and that's always when I recommend to get new tires anyway. So you're not really going to run out the life of the tires in terms of driving. You might run it out in terms of rubber elasticity and whatnot. So these do come with 60,000 mile warranties from Kumho, which is very nice. And all of that factored together, the fact that I didn't really notice too much of a difference while driving, and these are just a touch over half the price of my Continentals, I think that they are really good and I've been really happy with them. And like I said, these tires will be staying on the car for the foreseeable future. Now, I won't be doing much winter testing for these tires, but I do switch over to BlizzX's for the winter, and I have a full video about that if you're interested in what winter tire I run on my Mazda 3, in case you are curious. But huge thank you to Kumho Tire for sending me these to test. They have been absolutely awesome to work with. I appreciate them very, very much, and I appreciate you for checking out this video. Now, if you're a fan of the channel and a fan of this Mazda 3, as I said at the beginning, I did pass 100,000 miles, so we will be doing an update on this video on the channel later on. However, that'll probably be towards the end of the summer because I really want to do like a very thorough video. Everything that's been done to this car, everything between my decision to buy it, my time with it, and what it will be in the future. I have some plans with it, or plans possibly without it, and so that's going to be a full video. I'm going to do a full video on this. But thank you guys so much for watching this one. Stay tuned for a 100,000 mile update, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, guys.